Make some noise for your host, Kid Copious.
What up, perps? Kid Copious back in the bunker. Purple State Party. You know what we're here to do. We're going to rep America, the center, common sense, and loud noises. Yeah. Yeah, let's get right into it. Title of this one is The Brandon Speech, play on the movie The King's Speech. I can see some correlations. Yeah, his inflation now higher than Biden's approval rating. Yeah, well, they are getting close, aren't they? I think we're still in single-digit inflations, and he's still hanging on to double digits. But yeah, as we're going to see, I don't know how much longer that's going to continue. Oh, this is great. I upgraded my shades, so I can actually see now. This is awesome. Wow. Y'all look fabulous. You know? The 7% inflation, 33% approval rating. Sinema reaffirmed the filibuster. The Supreme Court struck down his vaccine mandate, his overreach. But we'll get into that in a second. Sadly, as I was putting the finishing touches on, I believe, last week's episode, we found out that Bob Saget passed away. Yeah, that was heartbreaking. I love the guy. He was really funny. Part of my growing up. Never really watched Full House, but I was a America's Funniest Home Videos type guy. And he's really gonna be missed. And just bring this one up because Dave Chappelle regrets not responding to Bob Saget's last text. A couple years ago, one of my jobs took me by where my buddy worked, and I was running late, and I just didn't stop in. I was on a Friday, and by Sunday morning he was dead, and I never got to have that last conversation. So don't ever put off things, man. There's people you love, let them know. So let's get into this mess of a week. Start off with some of our bullet points. CNN dropped 90% in their coveted demographics and total audience. Seems like people might be getting a little sick of completely biased news. And they might be getting sick of, media empires protecting scummy people. I mean, you could make that argument about anywhere. I mean, I don't think CNN goes out of their way to hire the creeps and stuff, but they certainly foster the idiots. That we know for sure. Here in California, an off-duty police officer was shopping for a home with his girlfriend, and he was approached by 3 men and an 18-year-old girl who proceeded to rob him. The off-duty officer pulled out his gun, exchanged rounds, and ultimately died. And in talking to the DA, the sheriff's department got the feeling that this was going to be a simple murder charge. Not murder while in the commission of a robbery with gang affiliations, but these guys were a member of some Florentine 13, Florencia 13, something like that. So the sheriff went straight to the feds. And the feds took the case, and they're charging them with exactly that. Murder during the course of a robbery and gang affiliation. And if they're convicted, they're looking at the death penalty and at the bare minimum, life imprisonment. And that's what scumbags deserve. I mean, sometimes you don't deserve a second chance. Sometimes you do something so heinous that you don't get a second chance. I don't see anything wrong with that. That's the social compact that we have with one another. Some stuff, you'll slap on the wrist, we'll give you a second chance, we might even give you, we've seen people getting dozens of second chances. And fine, okay, if you're stealing shit out of a car or you're shoplifting, I get it. Like, we're not going to imprison you for the rest of your life over that. We're going to hope that at some point you straighten your ass out. But in this case, their lives are forfeit, man. Biden's going to send masks to everybody. 2 years in, and we're people like myself who have been saying that the masks like these and even the ones that you see sold at 7-Eleven aren't very useful. And even if they were useful, I don't think they would stop COVID. But yeah, I'm going to send some N95s. Have fun with those, folks. Have fun trying to breathe through something that doesn't really want to let anything in or out. Good luck. Sacramento Bee proving that they're liberal scum. And I mean, look, man, I'm sick of this shit, okay? We're going to get to exactly why I'm so fed up with it right now, but I'm not pulling any punches. Look, I don't want to be a Republican. I want to be purple, but step one in my overall plan is we have to expose and eradicate these liberals, these left-wing people. You know, I'm trying to say that Saran should be released from prison because he doesn't present a clear and present danger. I don't give a shit. Okay? If they're a clear and present danger, then they should definitely be in jail. But you know what? When you murder somebody in flat-out cold blood like that, you aren't getting out. Okay? You shouldn't get out. Like I said, sometimes there's heinous crimes that don't deserve a second chance. I don't give a shit that he's 77. I have zero compassion. Okay? Zero. All right? Zero. Goose egg. But, you know, they want to let a political assassin out of jail. That's how weak they are. Another sign that they're very weak, the iconic Star Wars ship officially renamed to remove racist connotations. And Boba Fett's ship was called Slave One. Who the fuck cares, man? Who cares? Are we going to rename, like Iron Maiden's album Power Slaves? Do we got to get rid of that? I mean, come on, folks. We have to have thicker skin than this. Come on. But, you know, it's Disney, and they're just... They put the lib in liberal. You know, and we spent 4 years listening to how Trump lied, and, you know, I know Trump exaggerated a lot of things, and that was fine. He was a wrestler. That's the way I looked at him. He was a wrestler. He exaggerated. But the lying that's going on now is affecting policy, and it's affecting public belief in things. And, okay, we can go back to Trump, but he's not our president, so let's stick on the subject here. But, you know, they ignore their own violence, burning of police stations, lawless zones in Seattle, trying to burn down a courthouse in Pennsylvania, attacking Secret Service agents in Washington, smashing stores, torching cars, vandalism, destruction of historical monuments. None of that was random. That was political violence. But January 6th was the worst thing ever. 9/11, right? Pearl Harbor and all that? Sure. You know? And it's talking about the officers. And again, the only person who directly died as a result of that was Ashley Babbitt, who was shot by Capitol Police. Okay. All right? You know, that's what they say. You know, sometimes you play stupid games, you get stupid prizes. Unfortunately, it cost that woman her life. But, again, you know, she signed up for it. You know? And we're going to move on to COVID really quick because, you know, again, this is something that people like myself were railing on for a long time, and we said that we were conspiracy theories, but, you know, here you go. How many were from COVID and how many were with COVID? You know, and now we're starting to, you know, it's coming out because Biden's given up. So they're going to try to, like, downplay COVID now because Biden's given up. So, you know, they want to let everybody know, you know, 75% of the recent deaths, right, had 4 comorbidities. I can't pronounce that word, okay? But, yeah, we already knew this. See, we already knew this, and this is what's dangerous about the social media censorship that goes on, is that they're censoring people, and then some of the stuff turns out to be true. You know, that's not using the internet, using social media or interconnectivity. We're supposed to be free to express our ideas, okay? And if people are stupid enough to blindly take what I say, if I ever give medical advice, which, you know, I may or may not do, come on. You know, I'm just proposing theories, hypotheses, if we want to be correct about it. But, you know, 3 out of 4 people were already in trouble. And these are just, we're assuming just the people who died from COVID, where they actually were sick enough on COVID that it took their life. But, here we're hearing, this guy's saying, 95%. I think he's stretching his numbers there. But that's what we have been saying all along. And 78% of hospitalizations are overweight or obese. And again, why are we not addressing that? This isn't fat shaming. I mean, I smoke. In case you haven't noticed, there's smoke coming up, okay? I smoke. Probably not great for me. If people don't like it or ask me to move away or, to stand 30 feet away from building openings, stuff like that, man, cool, man. If you don't want to, if you don't want me to smoke around you, I'll go somewhere else, man. I don't care. I'm not here to irritate people. Let's talk about it. I'm an alcoholic. I've been sober longer than a lot of people have been alive, man. You got to go all the way back to the early 90s, man. And what do I see every night on television? Alcohol ads, right? Yeah. It's in the food. It's in other products. Everybody's going hand sanitizer crazy. I don't touch hand sanitizer, man. I don't let alcohol near me. Okay? Because I had this shit slapped into me by the police and the court system that I was a drunk. Okay? And I looked at my record and I saw what I had done. But if we're just going to all play along and just pretend that being overweight or obese is not healthy, is healthy, fuck that action, man. It's not. And COVID's proving it. Almost 80%. 8 out of 10 people. This guy's reiterating, Matt Walsh. Reiterating. Believe me, I just say these things, okay? I don't have this kind of ego. But there it is. Not all deaths are from COVID. Lockdowns harm children. They still haven't stopped that, though. Nothing is going to stop the spread. Cloth masks don't work. Whatever. So they're going to downplay it. Yeah, AOC accuses COVID. I don't know if I use this one, but I just love this one. Just wanting to date her. Because oh, God. She would be miserable to live with. There's absolutely no way. There's no way. I'm sure she was intolerable before she became whatever thing she is now. Where do you want this? See, and again, these are the kind of things, the reasons why they want us so divided. Because they want people to defend a policy of allowing illegal immigrants to enter the country with a promise to appear and not forcing them to be vaccinated. But meanwhile, honest, hardworking American citizens can lose their jobs for not getting vaccinated. See, this is the kind of bullshit that we have to end. I don't care what team does it. If Trump was releasing illegal immigrants into the country and not forcing them to get vaccinated, I would call it stupid. Whether you believe that or not is immaterial to me because that's what I believe. All right? I know it to be true. And if you think about it, you know it to be true too. If you support this man, I don't know who you are. Not many of you left apparently, but that's a dumb idea. So anyhow, the great uniter that he is, remember that was a campaign promise. He said that Trump divided us. But let's look at what this piece of shit's done. He whiffs again as he pushes for his voting rights, okay? First of all, he loses Sinema because she's not going to get rid of the filibuster, which we're going to get to in a second, how hypocritical it is that he wants to get rid of the filibuster. But they are desperate for their Voting Right Act because their Voting Right Act is not about giving people the right to vote, okay? People have the right to vote. And the kind of laws that are in Georgia are the same kind of laws that are in Delaware. Yeah, where he's from. Okay? Showing your ID does not prevent minorities from voting. Okay? It prevents illegal aliens from voting. Except in California where they get issued driver's licenses. But that's another whole topic. Those things do not stop people from voting, okay? They are designed for security purposes, to keep our elections secure, not to keep our elections white, okay? Don't believe that. Most people in this country do not believe that the Georgia voting laws are Jim Crow. Most people don't even believe they're restricted because most people live in states that have the same exact laws. Sure, there could be tweaks, maybe 12 early days or only 10 early days. You could have all these things. But if you want to vote, you can vote in all these states. And statistics prove that point. More minority voters voted in the last election than had voted in the previous presidential election. Okay? These laws are not designed for that. They're designed to try to maintain some integrity in our voting process. But it's a hot button for them. And even though most Americans think everything's okay, they're just plowing ahead with it. Kind of dumb. Right here. See, this is what they want. Certain states to gain federal approval. See what I mean? Force states to allow no excuse mail-in voting. See? And they would bar states from requiring people to show ID to get a mail-in ballot. See, those are things that secure an election. But he doesn't want that. Because he's going to do the same thing that they're accusing Trump of. Okay? When 2024 rolls around and he loses, which I'm pretty sure he's going to do, okay? We may even have a triumphant year and actually get an independent in the office. We have a shot at it, possibly. We'll see. There's a lot of time. But they want to take control of the elections. See, Leo Terrell, he's a civil rights attorney. And even he is saying, why is Joe Biden in Atlanta lying about the existence of Jim Crow laws? Jim Crow laws were horrible, man. We're nowhere near that anymore. We are nowhere near that anymore. Hello, this Psaki. Biden didn't mean to offend senators by likening them to racist. The very same racist, by the way, that Joseph Biden actually supported, okay? As we're going to see in a moment here, Biden is the fucking racist, okay? The more you call somebody something, the more you are. Okay, that was something I learned that when people used to use gay as a derogatory term. And you started to realize that the people who used it the most and accused people of being it they were the people who were in the closet. They were the people who were denying truths. So calling people racist like Biden did, and he did. He did. I mean, like we said earlier, his own state has the same laws as Atlanta or Georgia. But he's saying that 52 senators and millions of Americans are racist unless he gets whatever he wants. It's exactly what the framers of the Constitution were trying to avoid. That's why we have the different departments, the different branches of the government. It's to prevent crazy people like this from taking too much control. But he is trying to delegitimize the next election in case they lose it. He's going to blame it on the so-called Jim Crow laws. But look at him. He's saying that people who don't support his plan are racist. What has he said? I mean, unless we do something, my children are going to grow up in a jungle? Come on, man. If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black. Poor kids are just as bright as white kids. Come on. We have the first mainstream African American who's articulate and bright and clean. Come on, man. Seriously? We Delawares were on the south side. I don't buy the concept popular in the 60s that we suppress black people and that we should give them a leg up. You can't go into a 7-Eleven unless you have a slight Indian accent. These are racist statements, folks. And he's calling out other people who don't want to try to rig elections from a federal level. He's calling them racist, siding with Wallace and the Klan and all of that. Man, ain't nobody trying to stop black people from voting. Vote. I urge people to vote. I've seen the numbers. I know where African Americans, I know where Hispanic Americans are leaning right now. Okay? It's in the poll numbers. We know these things. So go ahead. Go. Hey, here's a little bit more on that. He said that in 75, when those were popular opinions still. Talking about the filibuster earlier, all of their talk, and they used the filibuster to get around the sanctions on Russia's Nord Stream pipeline. Yeah. So they call people, he says people who support the filibuster are racist, and then they use the filibuster. Okay. I mean, that's pretty simple writing on the wall right there. Yeah. New York, you need an ID, a mask, and a vaccine passport to eat, work out, or exist. And to vote in New York, you don't even need citizenship. Does that make any sense? There you go. Look, 28% approval among Hispanics. There you go. Have fun with that. Have fun. That's what happens when you try to cancel a language because it's not trans-friendly, or you don't like how they use masculine and feminine words. So you want to call them Latinx, and they don't like it, and you still call them Latinx. That's what it gets you. There you go. Oh, boy. Yeah. See, we support voting rights for American citizens. We don't support fraud. She says it right there, and she says it in plain English for people. See, there you go. I love this one. The man of dementia. Going after the will, He supported Robert Byrd, for God's sakes. And he's saying that we are evil domestic terrorists because we want people to show ID, to prove who they are, to only vote once. One person, one vote. Okay. Tulsi, my girl right there. Same thing. Promised to unite the country. Instead, he betrayed us. And he poured fuel on the flame. Here she is again. Disagree with Biden? He says you're a domestic enemy, traitor, and racist. That's their tactics. That's all they have. Okay? But you've heard enough of that. So we're going to get to the what has me so pissed off right now. Okay? Liberal laws in California have led us to this point. A 60-something-year-old nurse is waiting for a bus, and she gets assaulted by a transient and is in critical condition in a hospital. Okay? A good Samaritan covers a homeless man in a blanket, is attacked and robbed. And this guy, okay, this same guy, the transient who was given a blanket, decides to rob the Good Samaritan. He punched a 49-year-old woman. He also assaulted 2 teenagers in Central Park. And his lawyer is demanding his release under the new DA directive to eliminate pretrial detention in non-major crimes. He attacked and robbed people. That's kind of major. But no, just let him out. Let him out. Why should he be there? But the one that really got me, the one that really got me was in Hancock Park. A transient walks into a furniture store, and there's a young 24-year-old female designer in there. He stabs her and walks out. She dies. She lost her life, because of somebody who should have been in jail. Okay? This is the same thing like with the illegal immigrants. When they murder and they're not supposed to even be here, it doubly hurts. Because those aren't my policies. I did not ask my governor to allow homeless people, drug addicts to live out in the streets and to just be among us and nobody do anything about it. Who the fuck asked them to do that? Who asked our damn DA, Gascon, to not prosecute people? Who asked fucking Garcetti to just open the doors? We got Newsom now. He's going to give health insurance to everybody in California, including illegal aliens. And I'll tell you why they want to do that. I'll tell you why. They want to keep us in fear so that we have to worry about that. We don't worry about what they're doing. They want illegal immigrants so they can hire them and basically abuse them. Pay them what they want and verbally and mentally and possibly even physically abuse them, and there's nothing they can do. That's what they want. That's what your so-called progressives want. Okay? They don't want middle class. They want poor, uneducated, illegal immigrants to slave for them. But then they're going to change the name of Boba Fett's ship. See? That's how they cover it. We still got a lot to go here, man. This idiot, I had to bring this up because, of course, Yahoo disables it. But this guy is basically saying that California should abolish parenthood in the name of equity. I'll just leave this up for a second. See, mothers and fathers with greater wealth and education are more likely to transfer these advantages to their children, compounding privilege over generation. Right. Okay. Yeah. So make raising your own children illegal. It's simple. But we can act now. It's simple. And while we wait for the legislation to pass, we can act now. The rich and poor should trade kids. And homeowners might swap children with their homeless neighbors. Right. Then he goes on to keep saying like, oh, I recognize that some naysayers. Yeah, naysayers. Because we want to raise our own children. But he's liberal. This is the liberal mindset. Okay? Right there. That is the liberal mindset. This is another liberal mindset. We're not going to punish people. So they just break into trains that are moving along, through parts of LA. They just break in, steal shit right off the train. And they'll just leave the trash everywhere. Yeah, see, this is what I was talking about earlier. But here's oh man. Really want to tell this story. I've said before that if I had the power, I would fix south of the border. And that's what this is about. This guy paid a bunch of coyotes money to get smuggled in the United States back in 2003. But they basically took the money. Okay? He was humiliated. But then a shoe factory accepted him as an apprentice. He now is living his dream in his home country of Guatemala. Because brands like Wolverine, Rhino, Hush Puppies, they're making their shoes in Guatemala. So he doesn't need to live. He wanted to come to America to get a motorcycle. He's got 3. All right? See, nobody emigrates and leaves their country on a whim. If we could help, if these woke-ass companies want to do something, then get out of China, who's our enemy and has slaves. That's bad enough right there. They have an appalling human rights record. God, But maybe we move it down there. Maybe we move that production down there. Enrich those countries so they don't have to come here. Not because I don't want them here, because I want them here. That's why I highlight this. I highlight a story about a Guatemalan who, instead of coming here illegally, was able to build a proper life for himself in his home country. Do you want to leave the United States? No. I doubt he wants to leave Guatemala. But he doesn't have to, because some American companies invested south of the border. And that's what we need to be doing. We need to be making our shit down there. It's much easier to bring stuff from Guatemala to Texas or up to LA. You can do that so easily. You see, China, it's like 2 weeks to get across that ocean. I'm tired of it. Here's a bit of good news. We won't delve too far into it, but apparently cannabis helps you, prevents the virus that causes COVID. Supposedly it binds to receptors, THC binds here, and then something binds to the THC, and COVID can't get in. I don't know. It's I don't know. But they're not saying possibly. They're just saying it does. And that might explain why I haven't gotten it. I don't know. I mean, personally, I'd rather smoke a joint than get a vaccine. Apparently, it's a compound, CBDA and CBD something else, and it's metabolized through the body, through the liver, in edibles. I don't know. Here we go, getting into the tops here. The sinking ship that is Biden. That's some nice artwork. Sotomayor. And she should be banned. Misinformation. Tim Scott. To heal the divides that others wish to exploit. Yeah. We have Winsome Sears taking over in Youngkin, and the other guy, I can't remember his name now, the Cupid, taking over in Virginia today. We're starting to see that. How they're already going after some bullshit in their state. Why would you not want America to become socialist? Refugees from socialist countries. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two. I hate those farmers commercials, but it really illustrates that point. The proper way to fix the world isn't but to fix the world. Start by fixing yourself. It's good advice, I think. I may have already done that one. Did CNN just admit they're out of touch? Is media out of touch with the country about COVID? And they're just ignoring everything and living their lives. Yeah, because that's what the average American, seeks to do. Just live our life. Corbett needs you to find the difference between these pictures. This picture and this picture. They're the same picture. Nancy and a clown. Yeah, she really is. That's high. She's going to have eyebrows on the back of her head pretty soon. It's wrong to tax a working person almost to the breaking point and then give it to a person who is able to work but refuses to. True that. How leftists see themselves. Leftists in reality. We are seeing that, by the way. They are the kings and queens who pretend that they're the Robin Hoods. A load of bullshit. I just thought this was a fun one. More tweets, and there's Winsome and Jason Miyares. That was his name. They will be taking over to make a better Virginia. It sounds like they're going after some things that are important to Virginians. Now, I read what they've done so far already, and I didn't see anything that was really one-sided. I just saw stuff that was common sense, really. We should be canceling Dr. Fauci, not Rogan. Anytime I screw up from now on, I'm simply going to say the science has changed. I love it when, the more tweets pop up and it's just 3 gems like that. For the love of God, please stop. He thinks his name is Brandon now. Let's go, Brandon. Science, CDC credibility. Well, they've been making it up. The problem with making shit up as you go along is that you're making it up. It's not based on anything, so it could be proven wrong. Maybe that's why they tried to silence so many different people. They're silencing people over disease. Okay? It's one thing to silence people over, racial hatred or just hatred or criminal behavior. But they don't. You've got kids selling drugs to kids through TikTok and Instagram, Snapchat, all of those things. But you're worried about a doctor's opinion on something. Okay. So my brother, who's usually a source of agitation, decided to agitate me with this one. And this one won my week. Won the best of the week. COVID-19 vaccines. Gas station dick pills. It's true, man. Look, I understand the skepticism about the COVID vaccine. I get that, all right? I worry about it myself. I had to do what I had to do, though. All right? I needed the piece of paper for work, okay? And for my life and my mental well-being. I had to have that fucking piece of paper. So I had to take that leap of faith. But I personally would never take gas station dick pills. So I love this one. He really hated the fact that I said I loved it. He thought he was needling me with it, but he forgets that I made a video about getting vaccinated. Back when we thought it would work. So, we're going to close with this. First of all, I want to say to anybody who's watching, thanks. I really appreciate seeing that anybody hears what I have to say. I'm not trying to inflame. I'm trying to help. I'm trying to provide some clarity. I'm trying to provide maybe an alternative source. And I've given up on trying to make these things shorter, apparently, because this is my longest one. But anyhow, let's close with this. This was not my favorite of the week. Gas station dick pills was. The man your friends disowned you for not supporting has a 33% approval rating. And it's sort of true. I mean, I guess I get a lot of hatred because I voted for Trump the second time, not the first time. I think that's a clear distinction because, I wanted change in 2016. And, in 2020, I think Trump had earned my vote. He wasn't perfect, but I think he had earned my vote. That's the way I felt. And Biden was a bad candidate. And the fact that it was Biden that won is one of the things that really made people doubt the election. Even myself, I still question it. I'll never fully believe that it was honest. You bring evidence and say that it was, but I still don't feel it because this guy is horrible. This guy does not represent America. This guy is a racist and a career politician. And I don't think career politician and racist were the qualifications for president. I thought we had moved past electing people such as himself. He's too old. He's too much from the past. But a lot of friendships and even family relationships suffered because of this. And this is what it suffered for. Maybe people were a little bit wrong about Trump. Maybe people shouldn't have abandoned Trump. Because we're stuck with this guy. And you knew you were going to get stuck with this guy. And it's not going well. And that's not just an opponent of Brandon's saying, oh, Brandon's doing a bad job. All right? He's doing a bad job. That's just a pure, simple fact. I don't see anything good. The few things that he has done were things that any president would have done. Stimulus. Okay. That infrastructure bill would have been slightly different under Trump, but Trump would have passed the same bill. Certain things need to get done. Roads, internet, blah, 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 blah. But, look, I always like to say, let's not lie about shit. Okay? Let's let the Democrats fire all of their shots, and then when it really matters, we'll take our shot. But let's not get caught up in the lies and hatred. Let's behave ourselves. Because, you know what? We're on the verge of winning again. And by we, I mean Americans. Copious out. God bless America and every single one of you.